Hi, my name is Eric Howard, and today I will be making a video for my ethical hacking class, and we will be going over how to do recon and execute an attack on a vulnerable target. So, if you want to follow along, all you will need is Kali Linux, and we will also be going over how to create a backdoor in Python to maintain access on the machine that we execute a attack on. So, first thing we need to do is open up a terminal. Oops, just need one. And so first thing we want to do, it's a good practice to get into, is before we try to attack our target, I like to make sure that we are connected to our target so we're not wasting our time doing something we can't do before we need to either make an adjustment to our IP or something else like that. So first thing we want to do is we're going to ping our target to make sure that we are connected to our target, because obviously if we're not connected, then we cannot attack our target. So my target today is 10.106.130.130. This is a computer that's in my local access network, and let's just see if we get some replies back. And we are, so that's all I need to see. And if you're not getting any replies back, just hit Control-C and just hit ifconfig command and make sure that you are in the correct subnetwork and stuff like that, because you need to be connected to the target to proceed. So now that we know that we're connected, we are going to do some recon on our target. And it's really important that we do this recon. I could make a whole video just doing recon itself. It's a very important subject, very important, probably the most important phase of the hacking stages, because you can't just, well, you could, but it's not smart to blindly just attack a target that you have no information on. First, it's easy to get picked up that way by IDS or system administrator, and it's a waste of time to try to run attacks that probably have no way of landing, because it's just not made for that kind of OS or service. So you always want to do plenty of research on your target before you attack it, because the more research, the more information you have on your target, the more attacks you can do, and the better your attacks are of actually being successful. So let's now do an Nmap scan on our target. We don't need that one. So what we're going to do is just do a simple, going to do a version detection scan. And what this does is Nmap will scan it using its database, and it's going to fingerprint this machine for us, which is going to provide us very, very important information for us to go on to the next step of our attack, because, like I said, it's not good to attack what you don't know. So this is hopefully, this always works, because sometimes database is not sure or whatever, but it's a good place to start at. And hopefully it tells us what kind of OS, what kind of services they're running, and stuff like that, which are really, really important to our next stage of recon. So let's just do this real quick on our same target, 10.106.130.130. Run that scan. And give us a second. Like I said, it's going through its database right now, trying to fingerprint all the services on the ports that are open, and the OS, what version, what kind of version it's running, so we know specifically, because one version might not be vulnerable to it because it had a patch. So we don't want to run an attack if it's already patched up. So it's finished, and we see that there are 3 ports that are open, and it's running 3 different services. So this is great. We know it's right now, at this point, we know it's a Microsoft machine. It's running Windows XP, it says right here. That's definitely an outdated software. Plenty of vulnerabilities for exploiting on this one. It is important though, I think there's 3 different versions of Windows XP though. So as I continue, they started patching up more and more things as they release new versions. So a lot of the attacks that we're going to do, if you do the same thing, you see a Windows XP machine came up on your fingerprint, but the attacks that we do today isn't working, it's probably because it's a higher version than the Windows XP machine this one is. So keep that in mind too. Just because it's Windows XP doesn't mean it's the same version. No, it could be SP1, SP2, or SP3. And of course, higher it goes, the more patched up it is. So just keep that in mind. But today, this is I know this is the SP1 version of Windows XP, and like I said, it's very vulnerable. So what we're going to do now is look up some attacks using the information right here. So let's just go to the website and see what we can find. So in an effort to save time, I'm not going to go through the whole process of how I found this exploit that we're going to use today, but if you see here, I did go to this website, and after looking around, you want to look for one that best fits the vulnerabilities you found after receiving information from your scan. And you want to find, after you limit it down by doing that, you want to find the highest, in my opinion, you want to find the highest score of severity rating, because usually that means that this one is really, really bad. So from your point of view, that means it's really, really good, because, you want to exploit the system. So, if you look here, close all that out. Open this a little bit wider. You will see that this is it's a 10, which is out of 10. So this is a pretty bad one. This is CVE 2008-4250. And you can see here that it affects these versions of Windows. And yeah, if it works, it's a pretty bad exploit, because you can execute code, which is usually the worst thing, because once you can execute code, it's really a whole amount of possibilities that the hacker could do once they have the possibility of executing remote code. So we see this here, so we say, okay, so we look at this and we decide, okay, we want to go with this exploit. And the beauty of Metasploit is they have this database in their framework, and they automate the whole process. All you gotta do is choose a payload, and it does everything else for you. Or you say, no, I mean, you gotta tell it what and where, but pretty much everything's automated and it's done for you. It makes it really, really easy. So what I'm looking for right now is this right here. This is what will be found in Metasploit. So we have this now. So we're gonna go back to our module, our exploit module in Metasploit, and we can do that just by, first we have to open up Metasploit. So let's do that right now. So we do MSF console. Spelled that wrong. And give that a second to open up, because like I said, they have a whole database in there of different vulnerabilities and stuff. So it needs to load all that up. So this right here is what makes all the stuff that's loading up right now is what is done in the background to make our job and life easier. So just give that a second to do what it has to do, and just wait for that. And it's finally open. Okay, so you can see here, you see a couple of things. They always have a different Metasploit art, and you can see all the things that were. You see why it was taking time to load up, because there was 1,300 exploits and 335 payloads, and this, like I said before, is what makes everything automated. So what we're going to do now is take the information that we got from the website, and we're going to use that to run our exploit. So like I said, we're going to use that, and we use that by running the use command. And what we're going to do now is go into our exploit module, which you get there just by typing exploit. Go to our Windows section, and SMB and MS08 that we found in the website, and just tab that out. Just hit tab, the rest of it will autofill. And after that, we hit enter. And now we loaded it up into our Metasploit. So now it's prepared to use this, and you can tell because if you hit show options, it's going to show you the options needed and options already filled in for you. So the only thing we have to do right now is fill in our remote host, which is the IP of the target that we are trying to attack. So we do that by using the set command, variable that we want to set for, and once again we put in the IP of our target. So set that, and now that's loaded up, and you can tell this by looking at it, and you see it's filled in. So now we are halfway there. So we got that information ready. So now we need to choose our payload, and we will choose our payload from our Windows folder, and all that is a bunch of different payloads for window targets. So let's just use our set command like we previously have done and do set payload, and then we're going to go into our Windows folder, then we're going to go into our interpreter, did I spell that right? Meter, I think so, yeah. And then we're going to use our reverse TCP, yeah, and hit enter. Good, cool. So now we have our payload loaded up, and let's see what else is needed to fill in. So see everything else here is already filled in for us. The port number, the exit function, and all we need to do is put our local host. So like I said before, Metasploit, great tool, doing all this for us in the background, taking all these variables and running all these different commands that somebody way smarter than me programmed to hack this machine. So all we need to know is just really little information from recon, and we could carry out this full attack. Okay, so I just cleared my browser and my terminal, and now we're going to set our local host just by how we did it before, just like that. And you can find out your IP address for your local host just by doing a simple ifconfig command. I already know mine. Mine is 10.106.130.242. So, oops, I'm sorry. I spelled out localhost. You don't spell out localhost. You just spell out lhost, like the options showed. Okay, so cool. So I got my localhost ready, and let's just look at my options one more time. Okay, everything looks good. So everything looks good now. So all that's left to do is to attack the machine. And we do that by exploit command and see what happens. And boom, we're in. So now we have a shell, and this machine just got owned. So we can do whatever we want now. You see here, I could like look in the current directory. I'm looking at the libraries for some kind of a program. Yeah, so I can do that. I could upload stuff, and now what I'm gonna show you guys how to do is no. Right now we can do an upload a file. It could be a malicious file, and that's really easy. All you gotta do is just look at your help command. Once you get to this point, everything else is easy. You do all the hard work. So what I'm going to show you guys next, I'm running out of time in this video, but the next thing I'm going to show you is how to create a backdoor. So once you get to this point, all you have to do is upload it, and no matter what happens, whatever they do, you'll always have a backdoor so you can maintain access. So that's it for this video, but check out part 2. Alright, thanks.